Before I launch into my little talk, I just want to say how happy I am to be here and to thank the people that have brought me back to where it all began. And I think that the ironic thing is that in listening to everyone on this panel, I perhaps have done the opposite from them in that I came from outside the classical music world, and today professionally am sitting in the most stereotypical or normative part of the classical world, the classical music world as it's represented here on this panel. I was a psych major here, and the thing that the greatest thing that the psych department taught me was that I didn't want to be a psychologist. And, well, listen, you know, it cost a lot of money, but it was a good thing to come to that realization. And I was fortunate to have one foot in the psych department and one foot in the conservatory. Even though I wasn't a trained musician, I had absolutely no desire to be a performer. And I just lived in that world. Everyone thought I was a voice major because all my friends were voice majors. And I took a lot of music history classes with someone here who's very special. I'm not talking about you, Claudia. No. It's basically after I was graduated, I worked at the Boston Symphony for a couple of years, found myself at the Metropolitan Opera for 5 years, and then got bored at the Met doing the same thing over and over again and realizing that I wasn't going to be doing anything outside of my little box. And a wonderful friend and mentor called me one day and said, hey, Bill, there's this company called IMG Artists that I founded, Charlie, and there's a position that's opening up, and would you be interested? And I didn't really want to go into the world of management. My experience at the Met working with managers were the real hucksters of the business, you know, bada bing, bada boom. It's very slick and slimy. And I didn't want to, that isn't me, and I didn't want to be affiliated or associated with those characters, and they are characters. And it isn't me. And it isn't Charlie, sorry. And it isn't Claudia. And, you know. So I went in and had this meeting completely thinking that I was just going to make another contact and talk with someone. And the woman that interviewed me and eventually hired me, there was something about her that was unique and special, and she wasn't a bada bing, bada boom kind of person. I remember going in for my first meeting with her, and it was August, and you know the office was warm, and she was wearing a tank top and leather jeans, and you know she was this cool, chic Argentinian lesbian Jew, and I just thought, okay, you know, besides she could have gone to Oberlin, I was like, this is my person, this is who I want to work with. Anyway, she hired me, and over the course of years and various shifts in the structure of the people that were working at IMG, I started doing booking, and now I'm doing artist management. And the people that I'm working with, I work exclusively with opera singers, and even though the company manages everyone from Franz Welsermost and Jimmy Galway to Murray Pariah and Renee Fleming and Bill T. Jones and everyone. Anyway, so what I was saying is that I started in a place where I never thought I would land in the classical music world, and of all the people up here, I'm perhaps in the most conservative realm in that I personally haven't done anything entrepreneurial, maybe innovative for my clients and maybe innovative for myself, in that I took a non-traditional path. And I think that one of the things that's the most important thing, and I say this whenever I'm speaking or whether it's one-on-one or in a group, is, and this is something that they don't teach you in conservatory, if you can do something else, do it. It is a very, 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 very tough job, tough road, with sacrifices on your personal life, on your professional life, competition, medical problems, psychological problems. It's I don't mean to be the spoiler in this, but I think that what is important and what draws into this whole discussion about innovation and creativity and entrepreneurship is to tap into something that you like to do that isn't playing the flute or playing the cello or whatever, because chances are you're going to need to go. I don't want to say fall back, because that's perhaps some people might say a sign of defeat. But you're going to need to create yourselves in ways that aren't what you're being taught in, at Oberlin or Baldwin Wallace or Juilliard or Michigan or wherever you're studying. I think that the challenges are so great, and you look around and see the numbers of people that have gone through conservatories. Let's say there are, at any given point, 25,000 people in America and in some sort of music program. And how many jobs are there really out there? Okay, if you're happy with, if you're a singer and you end up singing at the, Illyria Gilbert and Sullivan Society, and if that's your dream, terrific. That's wonderful. There's an audience, and you're fulfilling your performing desires and goals. But if your dream is to sing at La Scala with Riccardo Muti, chances are you're not going to get there. And I think that one of the things that I can't stress enough is network, and be open to changes. And, as Charlie said, I never thought that I was going to go from this to that, and I never thought that I was going to go from that to this. Or, Claire, who left here and said, okay, the world is my oyster, and I'm going to take the bull by the horns and do something new. Figure out what doesn't exist and make it exist. And I think that that's something that, from where I stand, it's a bit of a struggle, because what I do is very prescribed. I'm involved in helping artists create their careers, and for the most part, the people that I'm working with are singing at the Met or Carnegie Hall or Covent Garden, and they aren't doing anything other than what they do, singing Brahms and Schubert and Puccini and stuff. There are some that I work with, fortunately, and though I don't necessarily work with on my personal roster or on the list that I work with, someone like Dawn Upshaw, who I think is a perfect example of someone who, in the classical music world, had a voice that was not going to be to everyone's taste, that her operatic repertoire in the traditional sense was very limited. And she started working with new composers, or living composers. She was thinking outside the box in terms of the way in which she performed, the people that she was working with. And I think that that's one of the things that's so great about where at least the students are here, in terms of the accessibility to working with composers and choreographers and actors. You can't overlook the importance of cross medium, looking to other art forms as a way to inform your audiences. And I think that in today's world, where it's very short attention span and everything is visually based, I mean, as interesting as last night's conversation or discussion was in Warner Concert Hall, the gentleman from Target, I just couldn't help but think, I wonder what it would have been like without the fancy graphics and all the movies and stuff, because in today's world, that's what drives our information is visual. And so I think for performers, thinking into different types of art form is very important, and I'm sort of maybe rambling a little bit, but anyway, I know that we're sort of going to get pressed for time soon, but so think outside the box, and even if you go from the non-traditional, in my case, to the traditional, keep on thinking outside the box and network.
Great. Thank you.